Hello and welcome to another edition of The Cutting Edge. My name is Andrew McGee. I am your Krav Maga instructor. Assisting me is Joanna and Tony. So this time, as you can see, we have a MMA shirt on. This was from an MMA team that I was actually the coach of. Now, what we're going to do is the George St. Pierre Superman Punch. Now, it's different from the regular Superman Punch because it's impractical. So now we're going to do George St. Pierre one because this one has been done in the ring and it's actually effective. So usually I don't do a lot of flashy strikes and punches, but you know, this is kind of like a little salute to Falcon and Winter Soldier because George St. Pierre is going to be in there. And I'm also, you know, I used to like some of the different things George St. Pierre did in the ring. So I'm going to show you this punch, and we're going to show you how effectively the different components of it. So there's a few different components of it, but first we're going to actually show you the punch a few times and we'll go into the components, okay? So my assistant's going to go ahead and step out the way for a second, and they'll come back in a little while. Now what I'm doing is basically for this, which is the official Superman Punch, is that what happens is that you're throwing a knee. And when you throw the knee, you're stopping. The knee comes up, your opponent believes that you're about to do a knee strike. So they might drop themselves down to stop the knee, but when they stop the knee, you're actually throwing the hand. So what happens is I'm throwing the right leg up and throwing that right knee so it comes up. That's one part of it. Now the next one is that the stabilizing leg, because of the momentum that's actually coming up, you're going to have to switch and bring that leg forward and kick back with this one. So, step it in, step it in, step it in. Good. So now we're going to break down all those components, okay? First component is that knee. So Joanne's going to face me. Basically, she's blocking the knee strike. Boom. That leaves the face and the head open for the actual punch. That's where it goes. If you notice, when she blocks it, my arm goes completely past through where she would hit, okay? So if you hit somebody, it drives them back very quickly. Snaps the head back, because it's very powerful and knocks them out the first time. So here, pushing up, she pushes down. I kick up, she pushes down. That creates a hop. That's how you practice it. From the push down, there's the hop, there's the strike. But hands, that right cross, hand needs to be right by the face. So you have that push off. Launching. Good. See how it starts working? So, that being said, now, again, you're thinking of the same thing. Here, driving forward. Hand by the face, the other one protecting. So you're covered up at all times when you're throwing a punch. Right there, okay? So slowly throw the knee. Boom, then push down and hop forward. Good. Again. There you go. Again. Good. Good. So now you're getting that, that push off. You get the momentum from not just your leg coming up, but you also get the momentum from them pushing your leg back. And that means that you advance forward, which means now this arm rockets off. The arm in the side, which is your cross, stays right here. So as you go back, it launches. If you notice, my body is extending. So the more you extend, the more power. If you want to get into it, you can get even more power into it, the more you extend it out. Same thing. So you either do short, just little short ones, or you can do long. Covering more space, more power. The more you kick it out, the more power you get. When you hit something or strike it, it actually drives through. So when you're here, you're going free through, now you get that strike. That power to hit. So in motion here, I'm actually hitting. Notice that my arm is not extended by the time I'm actually meeting the target. Okay? So we're gonna have Tony come back a little bit. He's gonna hold it right here, go back, put your hands down. Yep, move back just a little bit. There you go, right there. It's a good way so that you can do it slowly to see. So now when I'm hitting, it goes back, back. Then he brings up, back. This is how you get your extension, and then you get the hop. So Tony's gonna just start with just leg up and just a step. There you go, good. Again. Good, go ahead. Good. 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 Two more. Good. One more. And there you go. What's happening is the power is being generated here and then throwing out, which gives a lot more power, a lot more precision, and thus you have the George St. Pierre Superman punch, which is effective, a little flashy, but can be used in real world, in real life. So throwing across means that the jab and cross are pretty much relatively boxing terminology. In Krav Maga, it goes with left and right punch, okay? What we're doing is we're actually talking about that cross, which is part of the strike. So you're basically holding in, making sure your hands are right by your face, and as you punch, you extend it. So we're all gonna extend it and then lock. So now when you lock it out, your jaw is right in here, coupled against the chest. The shoulder is protecting the face at all times, plus the other hand's in. Again, stepping out. So this time all we're doing is just stepping with that back leg. Good. You can also pivot and rotate, but since we're actually, it'll be in the air, we're just stepping back. And then we're getting used to stepping into it. Boom, come back. Boom, come back. Boom, come back. At all times, we're basically protected because you're protected here, so a person can't throw an uppercut. You're protected here because if they punch, you're hitting the shoulder, which is just going to deflect off the side, off the top of the head, more the side of the head without getting a direct shot to the temple or to the jaw, which should be more of weak points. Hitting somebody in the jaw will rock them. So we're basically putting it right there and locking forward. Again, bringing it in, locking it forward, boom. Again, locking it forward, boom. And if you notice, one of the things with a punch is that you also, we talked about before, is that you need to be hitting with these two knuckles and not these two, because cartilage and soft cartilage. So you want to hit with the two knuckles here. You can use this as an aiming sight, knuckle, and that way when you're punching out, it crosses in front of the face, which means that it protects your jaw, the side, and everything coupled there because you're throwing it right in front, protecting the shot as you throw it out. Instead of if it's here, now my jaw is open, side of my temple, everything if the arm is here. If I drop it inside and cradle it, now it's hard to hit here, 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 or here because it is all protected, wrapped in there. So that's what you're looking at. Okay? That's how you actually throw a jab and a cross. So the jab is here, the cross is here. The cross is always your power. And the jab is for measurement. The jab can be used for power, but it's effectively used for measuring. So now you're actually throwing a power, and that is how the Superman punch works, because you're bringing that leg up and popping it back, and now throwing your power forward, and you get the whip of the leg and the forward momentum of your entire body moving in that direction. That's how you get the power. Okay. So if you have any questions, concerns, or if there's something else you want to see, hey, if there's other MMA techniques you want to see, feel free to check us out. But before we leave, we're going to talk a little bit about the gloves of the industry. So MMA gloves are usually weigh in at around 4 ounces. And the thing is that now it's going to protect your knuckles. So if you want good MMA gloves, you want to make sure it's protecting the knuckles. So if you notice, this has a good thick knuckle pad right here to protect the knuckle. Also, it's very good because now my fingers are able to move, because when we start, you're doing grappling, reaching, grabbing, pulling, you want to make sure that it does not extend too much past that line, so that way you can get good grip on a person or an opponent, okay? A lot of times you'll see you get a good opening here, but you want to make sure you get your wrist wrap. Okay. Now, wraps themselves, we'll talk about that in a later, different episode, is how to wrap. But the main thing is you want to make sure you strengthen your wrists. A lot of these will come with wrist wraps, but naturally when you're doing actual MMA, you will have professional wrap, like you'll wrap up before you put the gloves on. Okay. Now, the other thing is this. Okay, you'll see some places will say you have to have a thumb. Some places say you don't have a thumb. It depends on where you, which state you're in and their regulations when you're doing actual MMA. Some will say you can have a thumb protector and some say you can't, okay? That's different. Now, you'll notice that Joanna, she has different gloves. Sometimes you can have different gloves, different sizes. They all come in, okay? Now, these are, what Tony's wearing is more bag gloves, and they're almost like boxing gloves, but then again, they have a little thumbless open area right there. So that way he can control the hand a little bit better. Because a lot of times with boxing gloves, your thumb is wrapped up. The boxing gloves, which are these will come in, sometimes they can be 14 ounces or 16 ounces. These are 16-ounce boxing gloves. Whenever you put this on, easiest thing to do is when you're putting this on, the other person will put it right against their stomach, and then that way you can push forward to make sure you slide your hand in as best as you can. Now you can go ahead and wrap it and secure it, okay? Same thing. I'm putting my hand in, and then she's gonna go ahead and make it easy to pull it and wrap it, okay? Now again, boxing gloves, the same thing. These are 16 ounce, and we're not worried about the brands, but the point is that there are some brands that are better than others. It depends on your quality, all those things. You wanna go ahead and do your market research on them, okay? But again, boxing gloves, as you notice, is also protecting the thumb. Where some bag gloves, they actually have the thumb out. Okay, so this actually teaches you how to control and keep that thumb in place. This is basically keeping your thumb in place for you, okay? When you get used to this and you're not used to keeping that thumb out and you're in the real world, you end up jamming your finger if your thumb's not in the right place. So it's kind of a step above when you start stepping out and you want to do more real world fighting. This is a good way of transitioning from here to bag gloves, which will be a lot smaller, okay? What I like to myself, this is just my preference. I always tell people find what works for you, but a lot of times bag gloves will be good for just bag work and working out, first initially. Then you can go into boxing gloves if you want to, but these are, sometimes people refer to them as kendo karate gloves or jeet kune do gloves. And the thing with these are now, it's padded like a boxing glove, if you notice, kind of big and thick like a boxing glove, but it also has the style of an MMA glove. So you actually have that same thing where now you have your fingers that are actually free also. Now this, sometimes you'll need a little help, or you can drop it in. So basically, right here, so now this is on, you can use these to tie, which is just like tying a shoe. You can pull those in and make them pretty tight because of that, and make little knots. It's always easier if you have help. If you don't have to always have help, but you can do it, but it's a little harder then. So now I have my kind of strings out. You can wrap the strings around a few times if you want to. Basically, we're just doing a quick one. So again, now I can still use my hands to grapple and still pull and grapple, and so use the hands to grab hold to something, to do my chokes, do my pulls, but also I have the padding of a boxing glove, so now I can still do my strikes, okay? Plus, when you think about it, you're still protecting those fingers so that way they don't get injured, because now you have finger guards pretty much protecting each one on this. So I like using these because then that way I can still grab, I can still punch, and it's still, when you hit your opponent, you're not trying to hurt your partner, but it's enough that they can feel it, okay? So anytime you do striking, you want to make sure you have a mouth guard, okay, headgear if you like when you're doing just straight boxing. When we can get into that in another episode, but that's basically the easiest way to do that. And there's different sizes because you always have your mediums, your small, your medium, your larges, okay? These basically, what happens is, she'll actually take her hand, slide through here. It's almost like a glove, slide through here. Elbow, so this way she has elbow protection, forearm protection, and she also has light knuckle protection. And the fingers will go, 4 fingers will go straight through there, and her thumb will go straight through the last part of it. Okay? Almost looks like something out of Avengers already because you have it here. This, now, by doing this, she has what? Elbow protection, so she can throw elbows. So that way when you're practicing elbow shots, forearms can be done, boom, right in there. So now she has forearm protection. She has light knuckle protection for strikes and hits, okay? And she has elbow protection for elbows and strikes from there. With that being said, we have now showed you different things. So, mitt work, so we're just doing light punches. So when he starts, so when he's like standing that jab cross, so when he throws that jab, boom, boom. That's the way a lot of people will throw mitts, is that they'll have one. So what we do is we have just one. So basically you're targeting the same point, same area, because that's where you're punching in real world. If you have any other questions, and I know we can talk about like how to wrap and do wraps because it's going to be a little more extensive, but the point is that, again, if you have any questions, comments are below. Hey, if you have something you want to say or, you know, you want something added, yeah, feel free to say something, okay? Again, my name is Andrew McGee, Joanna, and Tony. Okay? Check us out on, naturally checking us out on YouTube, but also you can check us out on Instagram, which you can check me out on Andrew A. McGee _ official, and that'll be on my Instagram. So thank you, and we are going to do next episode. We're going to be outside. We're going to be doing a few little different things with vehicles and guns, so check us out.